Hi, hello, Vanakkam. This is Venki again on the Bring Again group and Alston's group today. It's Diwali here in India. It's a lot of celebrations from morning, but in spite of that, I wanted to present to you all an amazing tool which I've been enjoying in the last couple of weeks. I know I picked it up. In one of the platforms, and it's been really, really interesting. It's Content Camel, and Content Camel. I feel that did not really get the kind of attention that it should have really got from the community. So I thought that I will bring Dave Shanley, the founder of Content Camel, to talk to us about Content Camel. So welcome, Dave.
Hello, hey everybody. Glad to be
Hey,
with you.
yes. I mean, I do not know how many of you saw what Content Camel is. It's a enablement tool, and more than anything else, I really found it very interesting because many times, when we are sending proposals or our portfolio, etc., we'll be searching for those files, and we generally will not get. And after we send the proposal, is when we will certainly find the file and all those things. And we all are so unorganized. We have external hard disks, we have our online drives, these, that, etc., but there is no way that we can have all these things together. And that's what I think Content Camel actually solved the problem, because I was able to. So for the limited time that I've been using it, I connected it with my Google Drive, and I was able to get all the files from there, and very beautifully I was able to tag it. And tomorrow, for example, we work on data warehouse, we work on social media management, so on and so forth. And I'm able to get all the files together, and so that it is very easy for me or my team members to pick. And that is where Content Camel really helped. And I thought that a lot of entrepreneurs are there in our groups, and this is something that you should not probably miss. And that is the reason that I spoke to Dave and requested him. And in fact, Dave was very busy, and he kind of gave me a very short time, and I thought that I should make the best use of it, because he comes with great credentials, in terms of enablement. And then he's a startup advisor. There's a lot of things that his knowledge could be of help to our group, and that is why Dave is here. So Dave, thank you so much for being here. I know how busy you are, and in spite of that, your presence makes a lot of importance or usefulness for this group. So Dave, while I understood, or rather I saw a particular use case of what Content Camel is. What made you develop Content Camel? I know that you are a startup advisor and all those, so what made you develop Content Camel?
That's a great question. People that know me are like, why are you doing this? Um, I mean, so I'm a technical founder. So I started off, this is my fourth startup. Um,
Oh,
I started off as the CTO of probably my most successful company to date. And we did well. But it really was when after we sold the company and we actually went public with the parent company, so we IPO'd and all of that, that I saw how, like, the true kind of power of a sales and marketing machine, right? Like that
yeah.
accelerated our revenue from 2.5 million, 3 million ARR all the way up to 25 when I left. And
Oh,
so it was, just like pour the gas on, right? And it's something that a lot of both like technical founders, but just entrepreneurs and founders in general miss out on opportunities on the go to market side, and like really working that as heavily as they're thinking about product. And so
okay.
that was kind of experience one. And then I started another company, and it was an analytics company.
Yeah, I
And
can see that.
we also got acquired. and
Okay.
and so then after the kind of through the acquisition, I ended up running what is effectively the growth team at a
Oh,
what I would say mid-stage company. So the company was doing about 45 million ARR at that time. And so that, that's annual revenue. I think everybody here probably knows that. But the and so at that stage, right, like you're refining your process, and they had launched already before I came on, like a new sales process that was super productive. Like we doubled ACVs, annual contract value, right, from new prospects. And so it was just like that success in going to market, and then thinking more deeply about that I saw both the tools that we were using, and they were expensive and not very good for this specific use case of enabling the sales team and kind of closing the attribution gap on content for the marketing team, that I was like, wait a second, like all of the solutions out there are these enterprise solutions that are very expensive. I would like to make something that's accessible for everybody, right? Everybody, that's because I think it's a foundational piece. You have obviously Google Drive, Box, SharePoint, all of that. Um, that's like your storage, right? But it doesn't bring a lot of context, and it's not helping the teams really find the content, honestly, and then also do the follow up. And so, anyway, I mean, long story short, we wanted to come out with something that was accessible for everybody. And we have, today we have customers that are large multinationals all the way down to kind of like smaller individual players. And we really do want to solve, like, make it useful for the single seller, right? It should be productive, and even if I'm just storing my own content and using it for follow up, I should get enough value out of it that I can that I'm compelled to use it. So that's the quick take on why Content Camel.
Fantastic. Dave, I know that you are based in the US. So is the entire team based in the US, or where is the technical team, or where is the team spread?
It's and that's actually another interesting thing too, is that all my previous companies have actually been based here. So I'm on the West Coast of the United States, um,
Okay.
and all the teams that I had built had always been located basically here, and I built out offices and did that whole thing. But with Content Camel, I really wanted to have flexibility. So the way we keep costs down is we keep the team small, right? And we just build smarter. And it's really like, it is the emphasis on building smarter and keeping our costs down so that we can obviously keep the cost down for our customers. Which I think is not what's happening with our competition. I think that some of them have raised like $100 million, and they have huge sales teams that they have to feed, and they jack up the prices on people, and they also have like Wild West pricing where they'll charge you anything that they can get, right? Like it's all custom quoting, and we've had people come in and they say they're paying X, and some people are paying Y, right? And so, anyway, so our team is actually distributed. We have folks actually in China. I work with folks in Colombia, and
Oh,
we also have people locally, and also pair with we have some marketing resources in Canada. So like we are a fully distributed team, and I'm
okay.
just delighted
Truly
to work with
global.
people everywhere. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Fantastic, Dave. Dave, before we, go to the demo, I would be happy, if you could just walk us through the Content Camel product. Take a
sure.
particular use case in mind, and before that, uh, you know, for whom do you think Content Camel would be the right fit? What kind of size or what kind of company and all those things. So, do you have a question for that? Because that will exactly let us, understand, what kind of target that Content Camel would help.
Yeah, I mean, so we've initially been focused on you know marketing and sales, and it's typically, and it's really marketers that are producing content. And the
Okay,
reality is, Benki, like everybody's producing content, right? If you write a blog
true,
post
true,
or you follow up with an email, honestly, you're producing content. And so that's like the foundation of anything your company is doing, really, when you think about it,
absolutely,
is that content generation. And then what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it from a repurposing it, getting the most out of it, making it available so that the team can use it. And
right.
so that, we're sort of still like figuring out exactly what the sweet spot is, but we have teams that are above 100 people on the team. So kind of like the larger teams where that's mostly salespeople, but maybe, I don't know, in a team that size, maybe like 10 marketers, that
Okay,
are in admins that are working with that team. But we
okay,
have a lot of teams that are in the 30 or less, like all the way down to 5. And so,
okay,
in working with the community, we've seen a lot of uptake with a variety of use cases, or a variety of companies that are
Okay.
in the 2 to 5 person range, that are, effectively like they're going to market, like they're trying to sell what they're doing. And they can be, I mean, that's everything from somebody that makes physical products all the way
Okay.
to somebody that makes, digital or info products, all the way
Yeah.
to people selling insurance, right?
Okay.
Like it's kind of
Okay.
interesting to see, like
Understood.
oh, insurance agents are using this. But fundamentally, like, what are they doing? They're going to market. They're sending proposals. They're following up with prospective clients. They're following up with existing customers. So I think anybody that's, actively engaging with folks that and building those relationships, this is going to benefit
Yeah.
them.
Fantastic. In fact, I have a question as well. So this is from Rika Gon. He's asking why Content Camel? Why did you come up with this
Oh,
name?
the name?
Yeah, content is fine. Probably the camel part.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah. So I mean, so my whole career has been in B2B, basically enterprise software, right? And I'm like sick of boring stuff. Right, and I wanted something that was like that could be fun. I mean, honestly, like, does Content Camel achieve my true vision of being fun? No, it doesn't. Not yet. Like, we're still a pretty young startup, um, but it's like we're going to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of like kind of cool. I mean, there's a lot of neat companies out there that have done fun things. Historically, like the MailChimps of the world, obviously. You know, yeah. Anyway, so it gives us room to be fun. I think, and also like when you think of a camel, like you're going long distances, right? You're on that journey, and
Okay.
you're taking everything with you, right? And then like content, like we're about content, like we're totally about content, and but it's not
True.
so limiting. It's not so limiting. It's not like, I don't know, SEO ranking camel or something like that, right? So anyway, that was the thought process.
Yeah, in fact, I was trying to do my own guesses. I was thinking that camels have got a hump where they store a lot of water.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
probably
yeah,
this is
yeah.
also, storage. So that's how, I was thinking it
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
be.
I mean, you're going on this journey and you're taking everything with you, right? I mean,
Everything with you.
they're
Exactly. That's a kind of,
exactly. Yeah.
metaphorically, I think I was thinking on
Yeah.
that side. Okay,
And
Dave,
and honestly, like, go to market is hard, right? Like we all know, like
true.
going to market and selling and all that stuff is really hard.
Absolutely.
It's like a desert.
Absolutely.
It's like a desert. You're trying to find the oasis in the desert.
Yeah. So you can actually share your screen and
Okay.
give us a walkthrough of Content Camel very quickly as to how it would be useful for entrepreneurs
Excellent.
like us or marketing agencies, or you just pick one use case, and if you could give a demo, that will be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could
All
see your
right.
screen now.
Oh, infinite. It's like, all right. Um, Excellent. Can you see? All right. So this is the main area of Content Camel. Let me just move the bar here. I'm gonna turn these off. Bookmarks. Oh, that's not gonna let me do it. Anyway, so there's kind of like the main component, like main components are the main things that you're thinking of when you're using the solution. So it's at its kind of core, and again, like the thing I think that's foundational that a lot of teams are missing is content management. So it is, at its core, it's content management where everything that gets added gets a unique link that's tied to analytics and tracking, right? So obviously, like people out there like use Bitly, and people out there use like CMSs and things like that. But it is hard to combine the what's being used and who's using it and get that visibility in this, again, in this focused area of like marketing and sales. um I mean, what I've always found is if you're just using like Google Drive or Dropbox or things like that, like all of your stuff is in there. And when you search for something, you get like all the random stuff, as well as the, kind of sifting through the stuff that you need. So this is really the way we think about it, is this is going to be focused, and this is going to be your kind of your final go to market assets, or the assets that make up your projects where you're going to market and people need those. So that's we're going to go through this, like the foundational layer is content management, and organizing that. And then on top of that, then what are you doing with those assets? And so that's where we then help mostly the people on the front line, like deploy those, right? Share them with prospects, follow up, and get data that way. So here's the main view. But when you're just getting started off, what you're actually probably going to do is come in, and it's sort of like the very unsexy part, but like in account settings, you're going to go set up your um, funnel stages, content types, all of that. So, again, like unlike a Google Drive or Dropbox or Box or SharePoint or whatever, we have like very focused tagging and categories that are going to help you manage your content library. It is important, I think, to track stuff by funnel stage for a variety of reasons. And so, the people on your team, or I mean, less about just you, but the people on your team that need to come in and browse, and they're like, hey, I just spoke to a prospect and they're top of funnel, like they're just getting interested. Do we have a video to send them, or do we have a ebook or white paper or data sheet or something like to send them? Where are those assets? They may not know exactly like what to search for, so they need to be able to browse that. And we're thinking about like the customer journey from the buyer's standpoint, organizing that way is really important. You're going to be able to go in and set your own content types up for organization. You're going to be able to set up tags. And then this is mostly for I think like the larger teams, but we have a lot of agencies using this as well that maybe are serving different clients, or have different products or services. So you can turn this on, and then you're going to set up your different products so that you can actually organize all of your assets by product or service, which gives you this dimension that you can slice across, as well as a lot of, again, like larger teams tend to focus in certain verticals, like certain industries, like they might be selling into medical device and so on, and then regions, like not everybody's in the same region. So you can go ahead and set all that up. And then the last piece is you probably want to set up your own custom domain. So what I think is really cool is we allow you to put this on your own subdomain so that all the links are automatically shortened, trackable, and then on your own domain. Pretty powerful from both a branding and analytics standpoint. So that's like, you're going to go set that up, and that's pretty awesome. And that's going to go ahead and allow you to search. And there's different ways to access that in the application. And so here's the main view. When you're adding content, so like then the next piece is like, okay, I've got that little set, I got that kind of my account configured with how I'm going to set it up. Obviously, I can go change that anytime I want. Now I'm going to get content in. There's a couple different ways you can add content here. And this is, Vicky, as you mentioned, like pulling it in from your Google Drive or your Dropbox. So I could go ahead and pick files locally. Let's see, I got some test documents. Maybe maybe there's some images, or there's some PDFs that I'm going to bring in, right? So I can add those, and then I can actually add more from different sources. So I could go ahead and add them from Google Drive, and I can connect, and then I'm able to browse my Google Drive. I can select whole folders if I want. I can bring in individual assets. And so I can bring those all in. So that's, again, one way of bringing in information. And then I think the real, also like a really, really important part is that you can also bring in links. So it's kind of like technically possible, but almost impossible to store links in your Google Drive, in your Dropbox, Box, SharePoint. And a lot of your high value content is sitting in like YouTube or Vimeo. It's sitting out there on your blog post. And so you want to bring that in as well. So you're able to actually bring in, just with link, is like go ahead and add links here as well, because you want to manage that. So we actually both host files in the sense that you can upload videos and content and everything like that and store it here, but also all the offsite stuff, or your on-site, mostly like kind of probably blog content or high value pages, you're going to add those here as well. So it's links and stored content. And so that's a way to kind of get going fast, especially if you have things in, already on distributed storage or like locally, you can add that really quickly. The other way that you can add content is actually, again, under account settings. You can go ahead and import a CSV, and that's really easy. Like, you just download our template, populate that, and then you're going to import that, and that's going to bring in most of that content as links, and then you're able to set like titles and tags and things like that. And people are using that obviously for huge, like large, kind of library migration and bulk add. Then once you have your content in, where you're going to be able to go in and further like categorize it, and set it up so that people can find it. So here I'm like on a content detail section. You're going to be able to, anybody that's using the system is going to be able to preview it. We have internal positioning. So this could be, like, hey, this might be a guide to like dealing with objections, or this could be, an internal sheet on competitors and things like that. And so you're able to communicate and describe some detail as maybe like the marketer handing off to sales, or just as like, within a consultancy, like how do you want to position this this asset. And then there's a public description, and this gets used, we'll see that when this gets published out as a site. And then we also take in like any metadata associated with that information. And so on images or blog posts or PDFs or things like that, anything that we can get, we actually bring in some metadata so that we can search that. And then here's your organization. So unlike some solutions that are like really just for building kind of resource pages out on your website, this is designed to be both internal and external assets. So you can put in your price list, you can put in proposals, things that you wouldn't reshare that you want internal for the team, and then you just mark that asset use as internal only, and that's going to remove the sharing link and make it clear to people that it's just an internal only asset. So it's kind of like an important thing to note. And then obviously add any tags. And then like the other cool thing is you can then customize the URL path to this, and that's right here. And so you can edit that and set actually individual customized, super nice slugs for any of the assets you're sharing.
Brilliant.
And then go ahead. Do you have a question?
No. I said brilliant.
Yeah. And then obviously you're then able to like search and find this. And so, there's like the super quick search, like that just goes ahead and searches everything that we have. But you also have the ability to, like I said, drill down. So it's going to work in conjunction with that. So we have, in this case, on our account, we have products, industries, and regions turned on. If you don't see those, you don't have those sections turned on. But you could say like, hey, I want, a top of funnel video that's tagged, like our part of our direct campaign, right? And then this is all going to work together to narrow down those assets. So that's kind of like the browsing, and then refinement through like your search term. And so that's how that works. I don't think we have, there's not going to be any PDFs there. This is a demo account. So, I think we have some stuff like top of funnel. Yeah. So there's, this sort of content. This was import from Pipedrive, but you're going to see like, this is a top of funnel asset, right? That's categorized that way, and it's a PDF. So it's designed to like be very, very easy to both browse and search and find the things you want. And then we actually have analytics on search under the covers that help you as an admin understand what people are searching for and what they're finding and not finding. So that's kind of, and then the next kind of level, so that's getting content in, kind of categorizing it. The next level that we have is building out collections. And so collections are going to be your sort of, how you organize information. And that's to both share it with internal users, but also to share it as sites externally. So if I create a new collection, so this could be my demo follow-up collection. You can set a description. I could share it with other people on the team. I could just mark it as shared with all team members and save that. And then now you are going ahead and building out your collection. And we're actually completely reworking this interface to make it even easier. But then it's could be like, I don't know if I actually have any videos in here. Oh, I do. So I think these are links. So you just drag and drop. You just drag and drop these over. And so maybe I've got some specific tags that I'm searching for, that I'm pulling in. And so this is, hey, like we've just had a call. Maybe I gave a demo. You're interested, maybe like sales qualified, like you're mid funnel, making an evaluation, and I'm going to, build out a collection that's going to speak to you. And there's kind of different levels of personalization. I can build out a collection and tag it so it's like just for you and it's like very, very personal with your name and intro message and things like that. Or I can publish that out and make it more generic and kind of reuse it as my standard follow-up. So that's, if I just save the collection, then that works as basically like a quick search. And so if I'm here and sorry, if I turn that off, I've got all of the content library here. And then if I want to just access the assets in that collection, that sort of acts as like that quick save search. And I can go in and that's shared with everybody on the team. And if there's a single asset that I want to grab, I can go ahead and grab that. And then that's going to use our short URLs, which again, are probably going to be on your own domain. And then anybody accessing that, that's just going to go and redirect that over. So that asset happened to be an offsite link to Slack's blog post. So that could be, maybe that's an industry article mentioning your company. But the cool thing is that that's going to track analytics. It's going to say like, hey, as a logged in user, Dave, I use that link. So that content's being used. And then when I shared that, someone clicked on it, or it went out in a marketing blast and someone used that, and then you get views against that as well. But I think the really cool thing is, so that, that's used as just kind of collections internally. But then the cool thing is then if you edit this, you can actually publish this as a site. And this is like by far, I think probably the fastest way that you can publish these site or resource pages. And so, this, we'll call this demo follow-up. And it could be, again, the level of personalization is up to you. It could be like, hi, Venki, great, great to connect today. Here are some resources, your evaluation, right? And if you leave the avatar on, this is going to have like my picture. It's going to use your account picture, and it's going to include this message and contact info. And so if we publish that then takes that demo follow-up collection. And if we just open a new tab, you can see that it's going to have our URL or your branded URL, and then it's going to have the title that we gave the site. And if we go there, it's going to be this, super tight, easy to create. Like it can be a landing, you can think of it as a landing page, but it's this like buyer experience where they now have access to like the assets that are going to move the deal forward. People are using this in a variety of different ways. Like some people are even embedding this on their website because this is like the fastest way to manage these resource collections. Yeah, sorry, did you have a comment?
No, I was just enjoying this. In fact, I was thinking that I was only scratching the surface of Content Camel. The walkthrough that you're giving me makes me feel it's a lot more powerful, which I really did not realize.
Yeah, it's super interesting to like hear the use cases from the community. I mean, and we're responsive to what people are asking for and needing. Like we added you can turn off this personalization, so the account, like the person creating the site, it's not their picture, it's just the logo, right? The message, the resources, because again, people are bringing this in and just iframing it onto their site, because it's like a pretty cool, it's a super fast way of getting these pages out. And one of the things I learned from my time on the enterprise sales side of things is that honestly, like the most successful reps, the people, the top earning, top closing reps, I mean, they were tailoring the content, like making it easier and putting the buyer experience, on rails, like making it easy to get what they needed to get, to make that decision, and it builds trust and credibility. It's so much more powerful than like sending out some random links in an email. That it's collecting this up. It has like, again, like it has that personal experience, and then yeah, and then you have like the click through. So you're getting analytics off the sites. You're getting kind of some cool experiences from the individual assets, right? That the user can navigate, and it's just like a much richer experience, and it's tailored down there for the buyer. So that's sharing assets, building the collection. We also have a way to get notified on sharing. So let's say you've created like a generic follow-up collection, maybe this one. So if I like take a look at, if I grab this link and I take a look at this link, it doesn't mention like Venki or anybody specific, right? It's like just, hey, like great, great meeting you, sort of thing. So, but what I can do is I can then actually, if I share that, and I would recommend popping in emails, because we're actually gonna be adding webhooks so you can integrate it with your CRM. But let's say that I go ahead and like basically personalize that link that then adds an ID that we're able to associate who you shared it with, like that email, with any like views or any action that they take on that site. So now it's still the same site, but we're now tracking that down to that specific user that you shared with. And then the cool thing is that you'll have analytics on that as well. And that's the same for sharing individual assets. If you just want to share, like, hey, I just need a quick way of sharing this individual asset with somebody, it's the same thing. You're going to get a link, and then you're going to get it like targeted down to that individual user, and then you're going to get as this logged in user, you're going to be able to see details here on what that looks like, those sharing details. And then as the kind of admin and other users, you're going to be able to go in the analytics area and see all of that. That's so that's like the content foundation: tagging, search, creating collections, and then kind of executing your follow-up and using those links. I think that like taking that kind of to the next level also is we have our Chrome extension, and so you're actually able to you don't always have to like log into the app to do that. From our Chrome extension, you're actually able to oh shoot, I don't actually know my password. Let me just look this up, this demo password, because I am logged out. 1 second. So our Chrome extension is going to allow you to access the content from anywhere. And I think that's like really interesting, because specifically, like there's a lot of these drives and things like that don't have, they don't have, you have to like log into them as an app and things like that. So here I'm just like obviously on Chrome, or like on Google, but I could be in LinkedIn, I could be in Gmail, right, anywhere, and then I'm actually able to go and grab those links, anything that I need, right? Like, hey, I need to share this, and I'm going to share this with this prospect right now. I've got that link, and then I can go drop that link in, right? I won't go into my email and show you how many unread emails I have, but so that's what that would look like. So if you're writing like your outreach campaign, or you're shooting somebody an asset in LinkedIn or anything like that, you've got the ability to quickly like grab like any asset you want, and you have the ability to use all of our filters as well. So like, hey, I need that top of funnel, right? Like I need that top of funnel video, and then I don't think we actually had any of those assets set up. So that you're going to be able to grab that there.
That's awesome.
yeah, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
And there's some other things, like I said, where there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're working on. We have analytics against all this.
fantastic.
Um, that I think that's kind of like next level as you're planning your strategy. It's probably like less relevant if you're a solo operator.
Mm-hmm.
It's more useful if you're a larger team that's kind of planning your content strategy.
Got
But
it.
yeah, go ahead and play around with the analytics. It shows you a breakdown of your account, and then there's some other detail over here that's going to show like actual kind of individual usage on assets, and you're able to filter that. And we've got some more things that are coming on that front.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, so happy
Okay.
to. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
the try to do that super quick and
Yeah, fantastic. So there are a few questions, Dave, based on the walkthrough and also the experience that people have got. I mean, people seem to appreciate the collections that are there, in the application. There's a,
yeah.
a question following up with the collection. So we spoke about CNAME. So will it be one CNAME, or do we have we can set many CNAME for each and every collections? Is that possible?
It's
Or
yeah. So today, that's a good question, and it comes up a bunch. Um, it's one CNAME for the account, and then
okay.
what we're doing is it's been like a pretty significant request from, or like one of the top like two requests from the community around, especially people that are agencies and supporting clients, that they want
Mhm.
some like sub account management, and to be able to actually put
Yeah,
CNAMEs,
yeah.
custom domains against those sub accounts, but have that separate. So it's not so we're probably so that's what we're going to be implementing. We're mapping
Okay,
that out, and that's going to be doable in the near term.
okay.
Um, but we won't have like a CNAME per account. But again,
Correct.
or sorry, we won't have a CNAME per collection.
For
But the cool
collections.
thing is that you can customize all those paths at least, so that they're like more inviting. I mean, it kind of makes a difference what the link kind of looks like,
True,
right?
true. Okay, so probably a related question to that. You spoke about the URL shortener that is there for every this thing, right? So will that be
Yep.
on our CNAME, or would it be a generic email, I mean, link that is part of Content Camel? Can the short link
No,
be
it's yeah. We basically bind the shortener to your domain, to your custom subdomain. So it's going to be like, docs.contentcamel .io, or share, or learn. People have like different subdomains that they tie to our system, and then
fair
all
enough?
of the any content that you set up beforehand actually gets
Yeah,
migrated.
yes.
So you don't have to worry, like you could set it up at any time. We go ahead and migrate all the existing links, and then we make sure they're not broken. And then every new link is then going to get created on and shortened on your domain.
Fantastic. So now there's another question with related to the file storage and all those. And typically we are going to store a lot of marketing collaterals or proposals, so on and so forth. So
Yep.
security is very key. I mean, there is a question asking. I hope there are adequate measures taken about the security of the entire application in terms of hosting and all those, or even with respect to uh, privacy and security.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're so transparently, like we're hosted on AWS.
Okay.
My team is all super experienced people. So again, like I've been an executive at a public company. Like I understand like all of the scrutiny and things like
Yeah,
that. And I've sold 3 companies. And so there's a lot of detail that people dig into when you sell a company. All of the
true.
agreements, all the IP, all the security and things like that. So we're definitely, yeah, we've got an eye towards that, and make sure that we are um, locked down, and that we don't have. And we also have a small team, so I mean, there's not. We don't have like a bunch of random contractors in there and things like that. So it's the access is limited, and we're putting in the best,
Got
um,
it. Got it.
kind of the best security controls possible. And I'm not happy to geek out all day long.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still technical.
Okay,
I'm
good.
happy to geek out on that all day long.
Okay. So, I mean, question on the sharing the link with customers or prospects, etc. So, do you also have an approval mechanism or a review mechanism where they can comment on these links that we share, or it is just for viewing?
The links today are for viewing. Um, from an internal standpoint, I didn't really touch on it, but you're able to make requests. So there we have some like kind of admin tools where people on the team can actually put in like sales requests, like requests for assets. Um, and there's some things that we'll be on a, like a longer term basis we'll be playing around with on the kind of content creation workflow where there's like Q&A on an asset, more positioning, discussion, things like that. I think that's an interesting area to for us to play in.
Yeah, fantastic. In fact, I want to digress a little. I can't resist asking this question. So this is from Joe. Will you be selling this company? Is that a
I
girl?
know. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably sell the company. I mean, like when you go public, you sell a company. I mean, maybe we will. I mean, maybe we won't. We're in a sustainable place, so it's like this is all about like having fun and in it for the long haul.
Okay.
I mean, I advise startup teams as well, and people think that this stuff is always on like some radically short schedule. I don't know why people think that's like almost maybe like a get rich quick kind of scheme or something like
Yeah,
that. But they're
yeah,
like, people are thinking like 1 to 3 years, and my recommendation is like, look, like if you don't want to do this for the next 10 plus years,
absolutely.
now is the perfect time to stop because you haven't like gone all the way in, right? Because it's like you have to be buckled up to do this for the next 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't happen. Like sometimes things happen and you exit earlier or whatever. But yeah,
No,
you have to be ready to do it
yeah,
for 10
I
years.
know the reason behind that question, because it is more about, will the early users be taken care of, even if there is an eventual,
Oh, sure.
yeah, that's the only thing that, people wanted to know. I do not know if you know about the FYI tool. There is an FYI tool that is available. People have been very using it very effectively. I do not know, Dave, are you aware of this FYI tool? If you are
I don't know that I am. I'll have to look it
okay,
up.
leave it. Okay, Raj, I know. I mean, I have used FYI tool and Content Camel as well. It is FYI. What FYI can do is only a very small part of what Content Camel can do. Content Camel can do much more than what FYI dot two can do. I mean, I'm able to answer this because I've used both the applications. So okay, I do not know. Okay. So this is a question. Any plans about GDPR compliance? Who's this?
Um, yeah, I mean, so we
Ini.
today I mean, today we've already put some of the things in place from a GDPR compliance standpoint. There's some things that because I've done this in the enterprise setting, I don't want to promise something that we're not delivering, right?
Okay.
And so I mean, I'm sure that I think some of the smaller companies that say they're GDPR compliant today are like I'm
Yeah.
almost surely not. Um, so it's definitely on our roadmap. It's something that obviously like we absolutely are planning to do. We're not 100% there yet. We don't store a lot of like PII, and people that cancel their accounts, like we scrub them right out of all of our stuff. Um, but we need to. There's some kind of extra things that we need to do. Like we need to have a little bit more portability with our EU storage to be able to shift over to that, and then just make our DPAs available, and that'll basically be round out the things that we need to do.
Perfect. Okay. So I mean, I did hear you talk about this in your demo, but Genie platform has asked webhook or what other integration facility that are available with Content Camel right now.
Yeah. So today we from people have like integration is a very broad topic.
Yes.
Some of the enterprise providers say they're integrated with Salesforce and they drop a widget like into Salesforce, for example, so you can search for your content there. Um, we know from experience that teams actually don't use that. So because it's like embedded in a page somewhere in Salesforce, it's like this little tiny widget. Um, and that's we don't feel like that's the best way to integrate from a usage standpoint. we like our Chrome extension approach because it's available everywhere. So that's like integration. Um, and then what we have planned is we are opening up our API, which is not open today. And then
Yeah.
we are but before we open up the whole API, we're actually adding webhooks for events like viewed, like the view events, and also content added and things like that. So you're going to be able to drop those notifications into Slack, which we don't do today, and you're going to be able to tie the activity and the reporting aspects in Content Camel with your marketing automation or CRM. So that's like in the next, I don't know, 30 to 60 days. Those are the things that are going to be materialized.
Got you. Okay, I think create something and you can make more money. Okay, this is just a follow up to the question on the goal.
Yeah, we're
I
not
think
we're not like we're in it for the long haul. We're not going anywhere.
absolutely.
We're not,
So, so Jordan,
we're a bootstrap company, which is
yeah,
interesting to interesting to talk about. There's a lot of distorting pressures put on companies that are
true,
funded.
true.
I've done both the bootstrapped and the funding thing before in the past. Um, yeah, we're in it for the long haul, and nobody's trying to buy us really right just yet.
Fantastic. So, I mean, again, he has just sent a disclaimer saying that
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
saying you did, just interesting conversation. I mean,
It
there's a
is
thread.
always interesting for
Yeah, there's
sure.
a thread that is going on, in our video. That's why, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just sharing these comments. Okay, I think we've come to the end of the session. In fact, we budgeted only for 30 minutes. We've already nearly reaching
sure.
50 minutes. And in fact, I mean, it's been a big learning because I was just scratching the surface of Camel, and it can. I mean, I definitely do a lot more than what I thought that it would do. So very interesting demo. I believe even the compliments that are coming on the chat also says that people have really enjoyed. For those of you who are watching it now, from now there is a discounted price that is available for the next 21 hours only. So please make the best use of it. If you feel that Content Camel will really be helping in your business. I really feel that it is helpful for me, and that's why I brought Dave here. Uh, so now getting to the most interesting part, Dave. There has been a lot of engagement on the two platforms that we went live, and out of which there are some people who have commented, and I have just noted down the names of all those people who have been commenting. And let me share my screen. Uh, da, 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 da. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so
The
um,
wheel.
okay, so can I spin the wheel to pick one giveaway winner for this session?
Do it. Let's spin that
Okay,
wheel.
it's always a very interesting time. I have some favorites in this, but let's see what happens.
Nice. Good music.
Lad Raymond.
All right.
Okay, it's Lad Raymond who has won the giveaway. Lad, to claim this giveaway, you need to comment on whichever platform that you're watching this live. I know you've been watching on YouTube, and in fact, I really loved the comment that you shared. Lad has really appreciated. So, Lad, you need to comment to claim this code. If you don't comment in the next 30 seconds, you will lose the giveaway. You need to be present in the live. to be part of the
Oh,
giveaway.
there he is. He's in the. I see that in the chat.
No, he's not there. I mean, yeah, he's there. He's there. He's watching on
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
Yes, he's there.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. So Laird is, he's there. He's claimed his code as well. So he is
Awesome.
the winner of the giveaway. Laird, please reach out to me, and I will help you with the giveaway from Dave to you. So thank you so much, people, and it's been a very engaging session as always. In fact, Dave came in a very short notice, and I think it's worthwhile because, as I told you, we have only 21 hours to go to buy it at a discounted price. Yes, Led, you can believe you did win the giveaway, uh, you know, in the Content Camel session. Okay, thank you so much, and please do watch. In case you are not able to be on live, watch this. Watch it later in any of the groups, be it Ring Again or Alson's group or in the YouTube channel, Alson's YouTube channel. And please comment any questions if there are any. I will make sure that they are answered by Dave. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and feel free, like Becky, if you should have follow up, or you'll have a link to my LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody feel free to connect. Also, if you go on our site, just contentcamel.io, you can join our newsletter. We don't spam you, don't send out very frequent communication, but generally to send out like high value templates and things like that. So,
Brilliant. Brilliant. So
all
thank you
right,
so
thanks
much.
everybody.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. Have a good day.
All right, take care.
Bye bye, people, and happy Diwali to people who have been celebrating Diwali, and it's been a fantastic session on Diwali day for me as well with Dave. Thanks.